Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayantiri Nashtaprayeshu Avatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Status Quo, text chapter 1, questions by Vidura, text number 18. Pureshu punyo pavanadrikunjeshu pankatoyeshu saritsarasu anantalinga samalankrитeshu chachar tirtha yatneshvananyaha. He began to travel alone, means Vidurji, he began to travel alone, thinking only of Krishna, through various holy places like Ayodhya, Dwarka, and Mathura. He traveled where the air, hill, orchard, river, and lake are all pure and sinless, and where the forms of the unlimited decorate the temples. Thus he performed the pilgrim's progress. These archer forms of the Lord may be considered idols by the atheists, but that does not matter for persons like Vidura or his many other servants. The forms of the Lord are mentioned here as Anantalinga. Such forms of the Lord have unlimited potency, the same as that of the Lord himself. There is no difference between the potencies of the archa and those of the personal forms of the Lord. See, so powerful the deities are, especially the deities which have been served very nicely by the devotees, by the pujaris. So those deities are very, very powerful actually, non-different from the Lord. So all we have to do is go and serve. That's it. And they'll take care. They do take care of everybody. The example of the post box in the post office may be applied here. The little post boxes distributed all over the city have the same potency as the postal system in general. The duty of the post office is to carry letters from one place to another. If one puts letters in post boxes authorized by the general post office, the function of carrying letters is performed without a doubt. Similarly, the Archa Murti can also deliver the same unlimited potency of the Lord as when he is personally present. Vidura therefore could see nothing but Krishna in the different Archa forms, and ultimately he was able to realize Krishna alone and nothing else. Now it all depends upon us how we approach the deity in the temple. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tathata vidamyaham. Means, as one approaches me, I reward them. I reward him accordingly. So same thing about the Archa form, Archa Vigraha, the deities. Same thing about the holy names. How do we approach the deities in the temple? Do we really see Krishna? Do we see just a murti being served by the pujaris? Do we see a murti with lots of expensive clothes and so much of lavish arrangements made for some superstitious activities by people? It depends how we approach them, how we see, what do we see. And then the deities relate to us accordingly. There's so many, hundreds and thousands and millions of stories of deities reciprocating with the devotees, even with the people who have no faith. Maybe they did some service in the previous lives. That's why they even get a chance to see the deities or reciprocate with them. Just like a wonderful example is coming to my mind. Again of Lord Jagannath. Today is Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra, so only he comes to the mind. So there's a Jagannath temple in Mayapur near our ISKCON temple. It's called Simant Dweep. There are 9 dweepas, and one of the dweep is Simant Dweep. And it's also called, the village is Rajajipur. So there's a very old temple there. Actually, the deities there are from the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So before that temple came into the fold of ISKCON, so that was like a rundown temple in the middle of a field, and there were basically Muslims living around that temple in that area. So very few, once in a while, somebody would come to take darshan in the temple, and there was a rickshaw puller, and he was Muslim, and he brought some passengers to the temple. So along with the passengers, he also went inside the temple. It was against his faith, but he still went in. And he saw the deities, and obviously nothing came to his mind. And Pujari, just like Pujari does, Pujari gave him some prasad. And this Muslim guy, he came out and he told Pujari, we are Muslims, we don't eat things like that. And he threw away the prasadam. Pujari said, it's up to you, whatever you want. And the rickshawala, he came back to his house. And then next morning, the Pujari, when he was doing his puja, and he saw the same rickshawala, he was coming, and he was crying and he was begging. He was saying, give me the prasad, give me the prasad. Give me that food that you gave me yesterday. The Pujari said, what happened? Yesterday you said you don't believe in all this, and today you're running for prasad. What happened? And the rickshawala said, oh, you don't know these three. There are 3 deities, Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra. You don't know this, especially this white one. The white one is the deity of Balramji, Baldev. Pujari said, what happened? He said, last night, this white one, all 3, they came in my dream. And the white one was very angry with his red eyes. He picked up his gada and his plow, and he started to beat me up. How dare you throw away my brother's prasadam? How in the world did you throw it away? I'm going to kill you today. And this yellow one is a Subhadraji. She's a little sister of Balram and Krishna. And she was jumping up and down, clapping her hands. Yes, kill him, kill him, kill him. She was telling Balramji. But this black one, he was little sober, and he calmed this white one down. He said, no, don't kill him. You have punished him enough. It's okay. You have beaten him. You punished him. And no, it's okay. Let's go back. And this rickshawala, he was really scared. He said, whatever it is, they are very powerful. Just give me the prasad. Otherwise, he'll come again and kill me. So this is the deities. Of course, we don't want to have that kind of reciprocation or that kind of experience with Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra. And that they come in our dreams and they beat us up angrily. But there is no limitation on what they can do, how they will reciprocate, and how they can take care of their devotees, of their servants. There is no limitation. The Archa Vigraha is non-different from the Supreme Lord himself. It's just we have to have faith, and we have to have that service mood. We have to really go and serve the deities, and they do reciprocate, they do take care of their servants. But the mood has to be proper. Text 90. There's so many other stories, but I want to go to next verses. Gam paryatan medhya vivikta vrittihi sadaplito shano avadhutaha alakshitaha swaravdhuta vesho vritani chere haritoshanani. While so traversing the earth, he simply performed duties to please the Supreme Lord Hari. His occupation was pure and independent. He was constantly sanctified by taking his bath in holy places, although he was in the dress of a mendicant and had no hair dressing nor a bed on which to lie. Thus he was always unseen by his various relatives. So Vidurji wanted to go as a pilgrim to all these places, and he wanted to do perform lots of austerities for his purification. And he went like so nobody would bother him, uh, uh, nobody would disturb him in his austerities. The first and foremost duty of a pilgrim is to satisfy the Supreme Lord Hari. While traveling as a pilgrim, one should not be worried about pleasing the society. Actually, this is what we worry most about. What will society think? What will the neighbors think? Or what will the other person think? We should only worry about pleasing the Supreme Lord Hari. Just like in our temples, when devotees come or when newcomers come and they see the devotees are dancing in the kirtan. And when we ask a newcomer to come join us in dancing, and they get shy. Oh, what will my father say? And what will my mother say? And what will my wife say? And wife thinks, what will my husband say? Or what will this guy say? Hey, you're dancing for the pleasure of the Lord, not doing anything wrong. People don't mind dancing in front of this ghodi in the wedding and on the streets in front of just some low class people who are drunk or just the passers-by. They don't mind dancing over there, but they mind dancing in front of the Lord in the kirtan. It's all about pleasing the society. There is no need to depend on social formalities or occupation or dress. One should remain always absorbed in the function of pleasing the Lord. Thus sanctified by thought and action, one is able to realize the Supreme Lord by the process of a pilgrim's journey. So this sanctification or the purification of thoughts and actions are very much required when we go for pilgrimage. Text 20. Itham rajan bharatam eva varsha kalin yavan gatavan prabhasam tavachasa shikshitim eka chakram ekatapatram ajitena partha. Thus, when he was in the land of Bharatvarsha, traveling to all the places of pilgrimage, he visited Prabhas Kshetra. So Prabhas Kshetra is near Dwarka, where Krishna uh, wound up his pastimes. At that time, Maharaj Yudhishthira was the emperor and held the world under one military strength and one flag. Means the battle of Kurukshetra was over, and Maharaj Yudhishthira was the emperor. So all the Kauravas had died, and the whole world was under one military strength and one flag. Means he was not just the emperor; he was the Chakravarti Samrat of the whole planet Earth. More than 5,000 years ago, while Saint Vidura was traveling the earth as a pilgrim, India was known as Bharatvarsha, as it is known even today. The history of the world cannot give any systematic account from more than 3,000 years into the past. But before that, the whole world was under the flag and military strength of Maharaj Yudhishthira, who was the emperor of the world. At present, there are hundreds and thousands of flags flapping in the United Nations. But during the time of Vidura, there was by the grace of Ajita, Lord Krishna, only one flag. The nations of the world are very eager to again have one state under one flag. But for this, they must seek the favor of Lord Krishna, who alone can help us become one worldwide nation. Of course, this is what Prabhupada is saying. The nations of the world are very eager to again have one state under one flag, but every every year the new flags are coming up, means more and more states are getting divided. Because the problem is people don't want to consider Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Lord Krishna is a enjoyer, proprietor, and controller. Everybody wants to be the proprietor of a little bitty country, but they want to have their own identity. They want to have their own proprietorship. They want to have their own laws. So that is when so many countries have come into picture just for that. And many more will come, just keep on coming, more and more. Because this tendency of a human being will not go away. Text 21. Tatrat shushava suhrid vinashtim vanam yatha venu jahvini sanshayam sanspardhaya dagdam athanushochan saraswatim pratyagiyaya tushni. At the place of pilgrimage at Prabhas, it came to his knowledge that all his relatives had died due to violent passion, just as an entire forest burns due to fire produced by the friction of bamboos. After this, he proceeded west, where the river Saraswati flows. Both the Kauravas and the Yadavas were relatives of Vidura, and Vidura heard of their extinction due to fratricidal war. The comparison of the friction of forest bamboos to that of passionate human societies is appropriate. The whole world is compared to a forest. At any moment, there may be a flare-up of fire in the forest due to friction. No one goes to the forest to set it on fire, but due only to friction between bamboos, fire takes place and burns an entire forest. Similarly, in the greater forest of worldly transactions, the fire of war takes place because of the violent passion of the conditioned souls illusioned by the external energy. Such a worldly fire can be extinguished only by the water of the mercy clouds of saints, just as a forest fire can be extinguished only by rains falling from a cloud. So this Prabhupada is saying this example of bamboo forest is very appropriate, because bamboo forest, wherever it is, whenever the wind blows, these bamboo sticks or plants, trees, they rub against each other, and because of friction, the fire develops, and that same fire burns down the whole bamboo forest. But even when the bamboo is burned, the root remains, and from that root, new bamboo plants come up very soon. As soon as the rains are there, the new bamboo plants come up. So it is very appropriate because many reasons in the society, just like what happened to Kauravas and Yadavas, there's nobody who started the fire. It just started from within, because there was so much of enviousness. And of course, Yadavs, they didn't have the enviousness, but they were cursed by the sages. So they started fighting among themselves and killed everyone, killed each other. So this fire that takes place and burns the entire forest, it can only be extinguished not by some fire truck, because that is too small to take care of, to put out the fire in a forest. So it takes rain from the clouds. So this is what we sing every morning. In fact, the first line that we sing, Sansara Davanal, Ija Loka, Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanata, means by your mercy, O Gurudev, you are bringing the mercy of Krishna. And that mercy in the form of rain can only extinguish the forest The fire which is burning in this sansar, as a sansar, this material world, only by the mercy of Krishna and his devotees, this fire can be put out. Well, what is that mercy? The mercy of a guru is in his instructions. His instructions are the mercy of cloud that is coming, and if we follow, if we let that rain come on our heart, on our consciousness, and extinguish that fire which is burning us while we're living in this material world. And that instructions are what? Basically, the instructions are, like Prabhupada has given us simple instructions. Chant 16 rounds every day. Follow the 4 regulative principles. And more, if you go further, read my books, preach, do some service. So if you follow these instructions, that forest fire which is burning us, the forest fire inside the heart is what? The unfulfilled desires which are burning us up, means we want to satisfy those desires. We want to fulfill those desires, but they can never be fulfilled. So only by mercy of Guru, if you follow his instruction, that rain can extinguish those desires. And then we can live happily. Text 22. Tasyam tritasya naso manushya prithurthagne asitasya vayo tirtham sudasasya gavam guhasya yachradha devasya sa asisheve. On the bank of river Saraswati, there were 11 places of pilgrimage, namely Trit, Ushan, Manu, Prithu, Agni, Asit, Vayu, Sudas, Go, Guha, and Shraddha Deva. Vidura visited all of them and duly performed the rituals. Anyani chehedvij deva deva kritani nana yitanani vishva pratanga mukhyange ankit mandirani yaddarshanat krishnam anusmaranti. There were also many other temples of various forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, established by great sages and demigods. These temples were marked with the chief emblems of the Lord, and they reminded one always of the original personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Human society is divided into 4 social orders of life and 4 spiritual divisions applying to each and every individual person. This system is called Varnashram Dharma and has already been discussed in many places in this great literature. The sages or persons who completely devoted themselves to the spiritual upliftment of the entire human society were known as Dvij Deva, the best amongst the twice born. The denizens of superior planets from the moon planet and upwards were known as Devas. Both the Dvij Devas and the Devas always established temples of Lord Vishnu in his various forms, such as Govinda, Madhusudan, Narasimha, Madhav, Keshav, Narayan, Padmana, Parthasarthi, and many others. The Lord expands himself in innumerable forms, but all of them are non-different from one another. Lord Vishnu has 4 hands, and each hand holds a particular item, either a conch shell, wheel, club, or lotus flower. Of these 4 emblems, the chakra or wheel is the chief. Lord Krishna, being the original Vishnu form, has only one emblem, namely the wheel, and therefore he is sometimes called the Chakri. The Lord's chakra is a symbol of the power by which the Lord controls the whole manifestation. The tops of Vishnu temples are marked with the symbol of the wheel, so that people may have the chance to see the symbol from a very long distance and at once remember Lord Krishna. The purpose of building very high temples is to give people a chance to see them from a distant place. So this is the engineering of temple construction. So the domes are made, and then if it is a Lord Vishnu temple, then the chakra is placed on the top, just like in Lord Jagannath temple. We can see that Neela chakra. It's a huge. It's like, I think it's about 20 feet diameter chakra, and it can be seen from far away. It's even said if you just pay obeisances to the chakra, it's as good as going inside, taking darshan of Lord Jagannath and paying obeisances to him. So that is the reason these temples were made huge, and then the symbol was placed on the top. Like for Lord Shiva temple, there will be Trishul at the top. So people could recognize which temple it is, and from far distance they can see and remember the Lord and pay obeisances. And of course, it would also come to their mind that the Lord is watching us through his chakra or Trishul or whatever symbol is placed, that the Lord is watching us. So the idea was to become Krishna conscious. And that's why in the West, if you come here, they build huge churches, very big, beautiful churches. And on top of church, there's always a cross. And that cross represents Jesus Christ. So people, when they're going by, driving by, or see the cross from far distance, they should remember Jesus Christ and his sacrifice for the whole humanity. And they should remember his teachings. That's the whole idea. How to make life, in our life, how to become Krishna conscious or God conscious. And many times, those who are atheists, those who don't understand the importance of temples, they say, why you're wasting so much money in building temples? Rather, one should build schools or hospitals. We have enough schools and hospitals. Of course, we have plenty of temples, but everything belongs to the Lord. So building a temple means building a house for the Lord. So that's a good thing. But we have plenty of schools and hospitals, and those schools and hospitals are making people more sick, more making them more and more ignorant of their own self, and it's burning them, burning their hearts, just like a forest fire. So these temples are the places where people can come and get relieved of their forest fires. Means the temples, just like Prabhupada has over and over explained, these temples are like great institutions where people should come and learn about the process of self-realization. These temples, he said, are not the places for eating and sleeping for the devotees. They're the places like where the soldiers come and take rest, and in the morning again goes back to fight. Means these temples are like places for book distributors. They should come take rest, but in the morning they should pack their bags and go out and distribute books, so people can read the transcendental knowledge given in those books, and this will change their lives. That's the whole idea of building temples. Of course, people can also come and take darshan of the deities and do some service. But the idea of temples is not for to get a place where one can eat and sleep and retire from life, or where generally, like in our temples, people come, oh, this boy of mine, he's of no use, he's not intelligent, he doesn't make money, he's not good, so you keep him. They like to give us people like that. Of course, Krishna, if Krishna wants, he can change that boy's life. Whatever he wants, he can do. But this is not what the temples are for. So one has to understand, temple is a house of the Lord, and we should give the best thing that we have to the Lord for the service of the Lord. Vidura visited these temples at least 5,000 years ago, and the temples of Vishnu were in existence long, long before Vidura visited them. The great sages and demigods never established statues of men or demigods, but they established temples of Vishnu for the benefit of common men, to raise them to the platform of God consciousness. These temples, the temples mentioned here, and so many other temples, like the temple of Lord Jagannath in Puri, it is said that the British, when they were there, they tried to dig the foundation of the, or not even foundation of the main temple, foundation of the boundary wall. So they were digging and they digging and digging, and they could not find where it ends, just the foundation of the boundary wall. Where is it laid? Nobody knows. So it's so old. It's a very old temple. But we have to have faith. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody have any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna.
in this verse, the previous verse that we did, verse number 22. So the places that is mentioned are the 10 places. Are they close to the close to Badrikash where we went? Prabhuji?
No. This is near Dwarka.
Acha.
It is said he went towards the west, so Saraswati River used to flow maybe at that days.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one request, Prabhuji. Not sure if everybody will agree. Tomorrow, please tell us about Jagannath ji. Today we should have taken, but then I could not request you earlier. If we can do that.
Okay, we can have Lord Jagannath Katha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt. Hare Krishna
Yes,
Prabhuji.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt Prabhuji, not tomorrow Prabhuji. It's a half an hour class only. We need 1 hour to listen to Jagannath pastime. Won't be
Saturday,
possible Prabhuji for half an hour.
Saturday
Yeah,
then,
good idea.
Mataji, you are right.
Yes Prabhuji, Saturday you can do
Absolutely.
it because
Saturday.
then we'll be able to hear for 1 hour.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yes Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. I think that makes sense.
Thank you Prabhuji.
Very good idea.
Okay, sure. We'll do that. Okay, so you all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Jai
Krishna,
Shri
Prabhuji.
Krishna.